Hello everyone and welcome to class. Today we're going to be going over how to compare and contrast. Now there's many different things you can compare and contrast, and I'll be showing you an example of one of those today, but I'll also be showing you how you can use compare and contrast in history to compare different events or different people or different places, and we'll go over that later. So let's go ahead and look at how to compare and contrast. So let's get started. So how are we supposed to compare and contrast? Let's start off with something simple. Alright, so now we have a soccer ball and a baseball. So let's compare and contrast. Now when you compare and contrast, you want to find what the similarities are and what the differences are. So first let's start with the similarities. Okay, both balls are round, both balls are played in a sport. One ball, the soccer ball, you kick it when you play soccer. The other one, baseball, you either throw or you hit it. Now, if you get hit with this ball, it's a little softer. This one's hard. You don't want to get hit by this one. So as you can see, we've gone over some of the similarities and some of the differences in these balls. Now let's get rid of it. All right. So how are we supposed to use this for history? How are we supposed to compare and contrast in history? And I'll give you an example of how. So let's take two things. Let's take, during the Civil War, let's take the North. Let's take the South. How are we going to compare and contrast it?
Alright, so the easiest way to do this would be to make a list. So if you put the North on one side and the South on the other side, and now we're going to go through and find all the similarities and all the differences. Alright, so the first thing we have is freedom. Now they were both fighting for freedom. The North was fighting for the freedom for the slaves, and the South was fighting for their states' rights to decide whether or not they would have slavery. Alright, now we have belief in the cause. Both sides believed that they were fighting for the right side, and that their way was the right way. Alright, so now let's look at some differences. Alright, so the North had more men, but the South had better generals. Alright, another difference would be that the North had more factories, but the South had home field advantage, meaning that they didn't have to go attack the North.
Okay, so hopefully now you have a better understanding of how to compare and contrast, and how we can use this in history. So let's review. The compare and contrast means to find the similarities and the differences in a person, place, or thing. Now, I use the example of a soccer ball and a baseball and the differences of those two, but you can use it for any other object, or person, or place. So, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in class, and otherwise I'll see you guys later.